Hi, it's Martin and welcome to another video on my Knit365 YouTube channel. Today's video is a spin-in project video where we're going to take some fibre and make some swatches. So if you are new here, hi, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. My name is Martin. I live in Cardiff and I am a knitter, crocheter and now spinner. I'm an enthusiastic spinner. I like to have a go, and I've started using some of my hand spun, which is just a really cool thing. And I'm enjoying being on this spinning journey. If you are a returning viewer, hi, welcome back. As always, thank you for giving me a little bit of your time today. So today's video is episode 2 in my spinning for a blanket series that I kind of stumbled upon by accident. I didn't set out in January to do a year-long project. It just kind of grew quite naturally. And I'm not mad at that at all. I'm really excited to see where this goes. So if you're not sure what I'm talking about and you haven't seen episode 1, that is on my channel from a couple of weeks ago where we spun for a blanket. And I've got these knitting swatch stitch like flashcards. And my plan is to spin up some fibre and then use that fibre to make different stitch patterns. And at the end of the year, we will have a finished blanket. So I made my 3 swatches in the last video. I'm not going to show those off in any great detail. Go back and watch that video if you want to know a little bit more. But I signed up to a fibre club, and this is the fibre club by Gemma of The Little Grey Girl. And this video, we are going to spin the February fibre. So let me show you that. And so I'm very excited to see how this spins up. These are going to be completely different to these. So this was a gold solid with then you can see the variegated. So I'm going to do the same process that I did last month. I'm going to break the fibre down. Then we're going to spin the solid grey. We'll spin the variegated, lovely tonal in these kind of bluey, beigey, kind of like a salmony, light salmon. Is that a colour? I don't know. Spin these up and then we're going to ply them together in a chain ply. And then they will become swatches of some kind. Now, the big challenge for this month is going to be consistency in spinning. So my idea, I know how many stitches I cast on. I know that it was a heavy DK to an Aran. So assuming that I can get this fibre to spin the same, then they will be exactly the same cast on. And more on that later in the video. We'll see how many stitches, what's my gauge, what's my tension, what does that all look like. But yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in this video. So hopefully it's a project style video where I'm going to go from fibre to finished swatch. This is going to be episode 2. And then at the end of the year, we'll hopefully have 36, hopefully, squares that I can turn into a blanket, and I'm going to have a hand spun blanket that I am so excited to see if I can keep this going all through the year, but also have my own hand spun blanket. So this fibre, as I said, is by Gemma of The Little Grey Girl. It is her monthly fibre club that I've subscribed to, and this is the February variegated and tonal. So the club is it's all about the colour club. So very much lots of different colours every month. This is Blueface Leicester fibre and it's 100% Blueface Leicester. So I have 2 50-gram braids. And yeah, a very short introduction. It is currently Saturday the 22nd, 23rd of March. So I'm later starting this again. So this was the February club. It's now nearly the end of the March. The March one hasn't shipped yet. I don't think I've not had it. So I've still got time to try and get this spun before the next one arrives. So I'm going to film my progress like I did last month. We'll follow some of the progress along with the spinning, and then we will dig into the swatch boxes and see what stitch patterns we're going to come up with for this month. And my ideal will be lots of different stitch patterns. And then I've got a really funky looking blanket. So a very short introduction. I'm now going to break these fibre braids down. And yeah, hope that you are well. Hope that you enjoy another spinning video and you join me on my journey. Let's see what this is going to become. Today's video is sponsored by Craftsy. Craftsy is your online resource for all things creative. I'm still using Craftsy to progress my spinning skills, and thank you to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. In addition to watching the classes that I've seen in previous months, I've been enjoying exploring their range of spinning videos even more. Craftsy is always creating new classes to keep you coming back for more and help you stay inspired. Craftsy have professional instructors who walk you through each technique with step-by-step demonstrations, providing expert tips and tricks. You can connect with fellow makers and DIY lovers to ask questions, share ideas, and stay inspired. As a member, you'll have access to Craftsy's live streaming tutorials where expert instructors share tips, answer questions, and engage with the Craftsy community in real time. I've been taking a new class by JC Boggs Faulkner called Spinning Art Yarns, which has been super interesting as I really want to get back to my fibre box from Advent. There are loads of amazing tips in there that I can add to my spinning. The first 1,000 of you to either click the link in the video description or scan the QR code on screen will get a full year of premium membership to Craftsy for just $1.49. It's valid for new members only. Thank you again to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. It's a great opportunity for you to learn more about the wonderful world of Craftsy. And as I said, I've personally found real benefit in watching the Craftsy videos as I learn how to spin and continue on my spinning journey, which is why you folks are watching this video today. Okay, so I've now got fur around me from wrapping them. So the braids are now undone. And then I think what I did last time is I broke them into half based on where they wanted to just naturally break. And then I think for ease of spinning, I broke them into half again. So I probably will do that. So we will split, and I can do that while I'm chatting to you. What I really love, so I've got an Ashford E-spinner. If you are new here and you don't know that, I've got an Ashford E-spinner, and I had it for Christmas. It was a gift. It was a 2-year Christmas gift and a birthday gift. So I had money the year before last for Christmas off my parents and Mark's mum, and I didn't know what to do with it. So I asked if I could have money again this year because I still didn't know what gift I wanted. And they very kindly then combined the two presents and got me an e-spinner. So I'm very, very lucky, but I love it. And where we live in a flat. It's just one big room. And just over there is the coffee table where I'm going to go and do some spinning in a minute. What I've worked out for perfect portability is the coffee table is in the middle of the rug. Shall I show you? Let me show you. So the coffee table is there. The plug socket for the spinner is there behind the Danish dwarf. There's the Martin Biz. And then I sit there on that sofa. All of the leads are still under the table. So what I've worked out is by hiding the extension lead one end to plug into the wall and the power jack the other end, the e-spinner is just away in a box. So I literally just need to go and get the e-spinner, pull the two plugs out, plug them in. For perfect portability. So I'm going to go and get the e-spinner. Now, as I'm breaking this one down, what I'm wondering is, if I look at the colour, I'm wondering, do I do something different this? I can't spin from the fold. I've tried it. It's really difficult. I need to keep going. I need to keep watching videos and I need to keep practicing. There is a Craftsy class actually on spinning from the fold. I need to watch that again, I think. What I'm contemplating is, so if I look at that, actually that there looks like quite a general repeat, but there is that kind of bigger blue section here. What I really need, if I want to get that graduated color placement, I really need to try and spin these from the same end. So like if I was spinning from the fold, I wouldn't have broken these in half. I guess I can still spin from the fold that way, but I would be spinning here, and I would almost go down it in one long piece. So actually the graduated color placement would be the same. Whereas if and what I did last month, I think, is I would spin from here down to here and then go back. Oh, actually that would probably work though, because then I would get 2 long repeats. Oh, the other thing is I could spin them in reverse. So I could then spin blue into blue, and then it would gradiate. Gradiate? Is that a word? It would have a gradient that would go from the cream and end in the cream. I think I'm going to do that. There's a lot of maths that I need to think about. I need to practice spinning from the fold. I've got some fibre. I don't want to practice too much on this because this is my club. So I want it to be okay. I don't want to waste fibre because it was touch and go last month whether I had enough fibre to make 3 squares. So I really do want to try and get 3 squares out of every month. So I don't really want to mess around and then like waste fibre. But I have got some fibre that I could practice spinning from the fold. So I think I'm going to do that. Right, decision made. Thanks for your help. Sometimes just talking it out loud makes more sense. So when I get to this braid, I'm going to do cream to blue. And then I'm going to do blue to cream. And then when the square, it won't make a difference because it's not a big project that I'm making. They're little squares. But I think that means I will get a run section that's quite blue and then a run-in section that's quite creamy. So actually, those squares will look slightly different. I'm going to do that. And that's as much experimentation. What is it with me and words today? That is as much experimenting as I'm prepared to do this month. But I would love your thoughts for the spinners amongst you. Is there another way to keep the colour progression without spinning from the fold? Short of breaking all the... Oh, I guess that's the other thing I could have done. Do I cut that and then cut all the little blue section? That's going to be daft, isn't it? I don't want to do that. No, because I like the variation. I like the way it's going to give me that. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. We're going to do a reversal this month. A reversal? I can't speak. I've not even had a drink. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I need a glass of wine. We're going to start with a grey, though, because I quite like... It's easy while we're watching telly. I can just sit down and I can spin some grey. So let's get the wheel out. Let's go, and I'm going to break this down, as said, into... I'm going to break this down again in half, just so it's a bit easier for me to draft. I'm still not as confident at spinning something quite so... drafting that and spinning it. I'd rather break it in half because that's easier to draft as a smaller section. But I'm getting more confident. I'm getting better. So let us see what this becomes. I will try and do some filming of me spinning and my technique for any constructive criticisms. We're happy to have that. So yeah, let's go spinning. Hello. So it's been a while since I checked in with this blog. And I'm not going to lie, the months have got away. The months? Yeah, probably the month. It's got away with me. I've actually finished my swatches. I know. We're going to talk about them now in a minute. Now in a minute. Such a Welsh thing to say. I don't remember the last thing I recorded. It might have been me just spinning and plying. I'm not even sure if I checked in on what I was going to knit, how I was going to knit it, etc. Yeah. What a funny old month it's been. It's been busy. We've been to London for, I don't know why I'm holding my neck. It's not, my head's not going to fall off. We've been to London for Mark's birthday, balloons. And while we were away, I did a couple of swatches. So I know where part of the month has gone. It's been just chilling and resting. But yeah, right. I need to pause this now after doing where's the month gone? Because I'm trying to multitask now. Mark's on his way home from London. He went for work again. So I just need to go and move my lunches around because I'm prepping meals. They're in the oven. Bear with. Hi. Okay, so I finished my swatches. You've seen bits of the footage. So this is the finished yarn. And it is glorious. I really love the barber pole in this one, and even more so compared to last month's with the yellow. I'm still sporting my brass band coloured themed after our night out when we had Mark and Band blue thumb fingers. But yeah, I really love how this turned out. And when I finished it, it did its usual. So I finished it and I was like, oh, that's a definite DK, maybe even a fingering weight. And then I washed it. It took on all the water and became a heavy DK / Aran again. So at least I'm consistent. And the consistency of this yarn is the same as January's. So I'm pleased on that basis because this blanket project that I'm doing, where I'm going to be making lots of different stitches, one of my ideas for doing this is if I then next month spin something and it's a proper DK, I've cast on 30 stitches. Well, I could cast on 35, so I could try to make my squares roughly the same size. But I didn't have to worry about that this month because it's perfect. It's the perfect spin. So I think we should take a moment to celebrate these small wins. And I've managed to spin a yarn that is the same 2 months running. So we'll do a little happy dance for that, for sure. So this is a DK Aran weight that has come out. And I finished my 3 swatches, and for those of you that watched the last spinning blanket video, you will know, hang on, let me go and grab it. This is all I've got left from month 1. This is all I've got left from month 2. So I don't really understand what I've done differently in the spin because they're pretty much the same. Let me show you the first finished one. So the first finished one for month 2, I'm really loving. So when I said earlier in the video, I was going to try and make sure I focused on the colour. I really like how I've got this fade between the contrast colours. So that is the finished swatch 2. And if I hold it up against swatch 1, they are the same size. That curls. ever so slightly. Maybe it's a row short. Is it a row short? I've definitely counted it, and the rows were the same number of rows, but now I'm holding it up like that. It needs a bit, it'll be fine when it blocks. Oh, there we go. Like if I give it a little pull and a stretch. But when I count the stitches, and if I treat these as swatches, as if I was going to do a new project, when I count the stitches, I've got the same gauge between the two. Yeah, I don't really understand what's happened. Unless these are a little bit smaller, but I don't think they are. This one looks smaller, but this one has you can't really tell, and I'm going to have to work this out as I'm going through this year. I'm fine with it not particularly showing up. It's got a cable in it. You can kind of see it if I raise it up. The cables aren't going to show. It actually shows better in real life. The cables, because the yarn is so busy and every month is going to be this busy, you can't necessarily see it. But in the same way as this one, you can kind of see the lace just because you've got the holes. Oven. Okay, I'm back. You can kind of see the holes. It's going to need a good block to stretch out the pattern. And that's the same with this one. So this was the cat paw. Let me show you the swatches. Now this cat paw one does look smaller, but I know it's definitely 30 stitches wide. The question is just whether I did enough rows. I think I was okay. So this was the large cat paw, and that's this swatch here. So you can see the top of I guess the pad of the finger. And when that has a block to stretch the lace, it does look smaller against this one. But I think it's the lace pattern itself that makes it look a bit smaller. Does that make sense? I think when it's had a block and it's stretched out, it will be fine. So that's the second one. And then obviously the third one was the cable, which you can't really see. So in these textures, because the yarn is so heavily variegated, there are going to be some patterns that show better than others. So if I find the cable, it was this one, it was the OXO cable. So I think lacy patterns are going to be okay. So like this buttonhole effect. We know this old shale pattern, that was this one. That kind of shows. So I think I'm going to have to think about, I'm going to have to think about the types of patterns that I work up, just to make sure that they show in the finish effect. Ultimately, it's a blanket, so I'm going to be snuggled underneath it. I don't think it needs to be like it's not going to be displayed on a wall that you can see the individual squares. When you're snuggled underneath it, no one's going to know. So if I've got the odd square, then I'm okay with that. So yeah, maybe not so much cables. We'll see what some of the other months are like, because that one, as you saw in the braid earlier in the video, it was quite heavily variegated with the colors. This one, not so much. The next month, I have it. That's for next month's video. So I'm not going to show it off in a moment. That one's not quite so heavily variegated in terms of the non-solid. So the variegated 50 grams isn't quite so heavy as this one was. So I think some months might lend themselves, and this is ultimately a learning journey. This is about me practicing my spinning and learning to knit with and then knitting with my hand spun as part of that learning journey. So I'm okay, I'm happy. And as I said in last month's video, every month we'll have just a solid square so that you can see the colors. Yeah. So my aim, thinking I'd only have this much left over, someone has suggested it, or a few of you suggested on the last video, about winding the excess I've got off onto this and making a magic ball throughout the year of all the leftovers. Then I can work out how many more blanket squares I can get. I probably need to weigh these, but I might be able to get a whole nother square out of that. For now, I'm not doing that because at the moment it's going to be 36 squares. 12 months of the club for 3 squares each. And I've actually decided that Gemma does mystery gems throughout the year. So I've just ordered her Easter box. Don't know what that's going to be. Now, that's not going to be a mix of a solid and a variegated. That's just a variegated. But because this is my year-long Gemma project, I'm going to get I've got the Easter fibre. I've bought that. So I'm going to spin that. And then she'll also probably do a Halloween box. And I don't know whether there'll be a summer box. But whenever she does a mystery gem and there's an extra box, I've decided I'm going to buy that, and then that will give me extra squares to add into my blanket. So there's every chance this is going to be much bigger than 36 squares. And I will probably then, like between these two, I could probably do a square. I know they don't go, which partly I'm waiting to see what some of the other colours are like, because that might go better with another colour from another month. It might blend slightly more. Or I think we just embrace the clash and we just go for it. And we start with that and then merge into that. I'm not sure. But for now, I'm just going to leave them. So we're at the end of month 2 of my year-long spinning project. And I've got a very satisfying pile of swatches, all with yarn that I've spun myself, which is the most important bit. I've had a very lovely time spinning through this fibre. Yeah. And see, I think I may have made these a little, see, because that now they're in a pile, that does look a little bit smaller. But I said, I think it might be the lace just needs opening up. So when they all have a wash and a block, they'll all be fine. I'll measure the first one when it's wet, pin it out, and then I'll just pin all the others. So I'll fix it in the blocking. The blocking does wonders. But yeah, I've got 6 little swatches. Oh, could that be the thumbnail? That could be the thumbnail. Let me move the balloons out of the way. It needs to go that way then, doesn't it? So I've got my nice little pile of swatches, and in case I didn't show this off earlier, but I'm using the Knitting Stitches box by Claire Crompton, which gives you a selection of cards. How many cards are in it? There are 52 cards in it. So I'm enjoying exploring some texture, seeing what they turn out to be, how it all pulls together. It's yeah, it's been a fun month. So thank you very much for being here and joining in. I'm going to see what happens next month, because obviously these are going to get shorter videos, I think, because it's going to be repetitive month after month. So I might skip a few months. Like next month I might do a video, but it will include next month's spin and the Easter spin. So I might like combine a couple of months. So I'm going to keep checking in on this as a mini series throughout 2025, and you can follow my progress on the year-long spin, but I might not make it a monthly video unless you folks want to see each month as we go and you're happy with kind of a 20-minute check-in. I'm going to film them anyway, whether I combine them together and post them every other month. Do you know what I mean? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you've got a thought. I started with the same size braid. Obviously, some of the patterns will have used less yarn, so there are clearly big holes in this by design in terms of the lace pattern. So that might have used less yarn than, say, this ladder stitch that was a combination of knits and purls. I have counted the rows. I counted the end stitches, and I have the same number of end stitches, I believe. I might count them again just in case I don't. Yeah, we'll see. But if you've got any thoughts as to why I've got the same gauge, but I've got more than double the amount of leftovers, I've obviously done something wrong this month. or I had a lot of wastage on this. And I don't remember having a lot of wastage. I had no wastage at all, which is another learning curve that I've spun this all the way through, but I had probably small wastage. Perhaps, I don't know. Maybe it's just one of those things, and it is what it is. Yeah. Let me know in the comments below if you have any thoughts. Are you joining in with my year-long make-along? It's not really a community make-along. There's no prize at the end of it, but are you joining in with a year-long project? Let me know what you're making. Any hints and tips, as always, like I say, gratefully received. Keep them constructive. As you always do, 99.999% of you are always constructive in your feedback on my technique or very, very bad swatching. It's not bad swatching, it's quite a good swatch. I think this one's too small. Now I'm recording this, I'm wondering if I might need to... It's definitely 30 stitches though. I don't know, maybe that needs to be the thumbnail. It was definitely 30 stitches I cast on because I wrote it down in a note. 30 stitches on a 5mm needle. So I've used the same needle, but that one's come up quite a bit smaller. Maybe I need to check the gauge on that one. I checked the gauge on the solid one and I've got gauge the same month. 2 months running. Who can say? Anyway, I'm going to put those to the one side. They're going to go and sit in a pile, and yeah, that's the end of this one. So I'm a little bit behind because I've got the March club has arrived and I've not yet spun it, and it's now April. So I need to spin March, get on with the March swatches, and then get that up, and the April one. So there'll definitely be another spinning video in May, when hopefully, because it's now April, so you're seeing this in April. So there'll be another one in May when I will hopefully be caught up, fingers crossed. This is why I don't do year-long projects, because I always get behind. But that's all the fun of the making, isn't it? Yes, I know. Right, I really am going to go now. So thank you very much for being here and watching. Thank you again to Craftsy for sponsoring this video. Links and descriptions below if you wish to go and check out the content that's on Craftsy. I am still finding it a valuable resource. And as I said, yes, it's a sponsored post, but it's hopefully a genuine one because it's one that I used and I signed up and was using Craftsy before they got in touch to offer to sponsor this video. So I'm very grateful for them for offering to do that. And there are lots of good videos on there. As I said, there's a lot of spinning videos that have really helped me in the spinning process. So thank you to Craftsy. Thank you, of course, more importantly, for being here and watching. And of course, for giving me some of your time, as always. I will be back next week, probably with an Easter special, I think. If this goes up as planned, I'll be back with a bit of an Easter special. I'll film over the 4 days. Mark's jumper's coming back. That needs to be the thumbnail. So I'm going to see how much progress I can make over Mark's jumper, and then, because I've got 4 days for the bank holiday. So that will probably be next week's video. So check back for some knitting content. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you, as always, for being here. Until we speak again, happy crafting.